Tonight, I have the privilege of having two guys that know a little bit about football, just a little bit. If you win the Super Bowl, you must know a little bit. Okay, great careers, have been NFL head coaches, defensive coordinators. They went to school together with the Saints. Connection here is nice. Please welcome, give a warm Garaway welcome to Gregg and Blake Williams.
Give me three claps, okay? 1, 2, 3. There you go. And don't know how to respond to this thing that didn't happen that I just assumed was going to happen. It just felt off. Well, what do you mean by that?
I would say it's more the expectation. Like I felt like we could have played it better. We had chances to win it.
Anybody else? So you're going to hear you talk about playing up to expectations. Who's the captain? Okay. So who normally speaks for the team? Like when we gotta have somebody speak for the team. Ball played here. What are those expectations?
Well, the whole time we've been in high school is going 10-0 in the regular season and winning the IBC. So that's what we were trying to live up to.
And how does that happen? Or how has that happened before in your experience as you guys have gone through? Hard work and dedication in the off season. So smart, right? Smart. It doesn't happen. It's not the 7th Friday night of the regular season that it happens or doesn't happen, right? It starts when it starts, and it's an every single day thing. What else? What's that expectation? What's the expectation in this room on Friday night? And won a game to start this whole thing off. And this Friday, it's time to start another run on that as well too, right? And then that's legacy, all right? When you guys here in the front row pass it on down to the next row, pass it on down to the next row, pass it on down to the next row, all right? And the rows behind you, all right, understanding that expectation and that standard, right? You know what I mean? And believing in it, having felt it and gone through it. I was thinking as I was coming down here, like some things that I've experienced before, like in that. Anytime that you encompass or encounter something that's hard, right? Something that was unexpected, something that left you unfulfilled, anything like that. Does that make sense? All right? No victim mentality. You know what that means? Like no victim mentality? No victim mentality, all right? Is don't ever give that control up. And that's what I started with when I talked about this up here today. Like, there are no victims. Stuff's going to happen. It's how you respond to it. But underwater, 1,000 meters underwater, right? And it can still, the hole can still hold that, right? It's pushing back out as hard as everything's compressing down on it, all right? Because there's no victim, right? And the reason for that is because I refuse to give up control over my process. And what are you going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? And sitting around, come to G-Dub right now to talk to you guys a little bit.
Super Bowl ring, 101 diamonds. We built it so it would be worn. Because as you see, the Super Bowl rings look like trophies now. We're the very first father-son to ever do it on the same coaching staff. Now Belichick and his son Steve already had 2-1, pissing me off. This is great. And we're going to go through a couple things here real quick, all right? When I grew up on a farm with no plumbing, no heating, electricity. Never ate store-bought food. I was all-American in college. Couldn't afford to go to college. Had to get a scholarship. Had no money. Wasn't supposed to be anybody. Still have almost all the records. Football, basketball, baseball, all state, all American, 2 times from college. But wasn't supposed to be anybody. Had to play against them every single year in the conference. I put my boots on real big on how far. When I told them, I said, I'm going to tell you thank you. And they said, why would you do that? I said, I'm going to get a job in the conference. But before I get done coaching, I hope I get a chance to coach college football, but you know what I wanna do is, I wanna coach in the NFL before I retire. All 6 of them laughed at me. Laughed. You're blessed to be on a team right now, and I think about this because I'm still really close to a lot of my high school teammates, a lot of my college teammates, and all the NFL players that I've had a chance to coach. Over 2,500 of the NFL players. 68% of those 2,500 grew up in a single parent family. Wait a minute. 98% of that 68% without the dad. And as soon as these young men give themselves a concussion saluting, I put my arm around. And over 1,000 of them every year call me on Father's Day because of teammates. I was blessed from the time I was 5 years old to be a pitcher, a quarterback, point guard, or shooting guard. Okay? And do you understand what it means to step into a huddle in the greatest game that he just talked about, inside the white lines, and do what we do? Now, over 9 franchises, NFL franchises, and we've turned all over around that we've been at, direction of what the franchise is about. Okay? This is the very first thing that's on the PowerPoint, and this is what you're going to do. Sit up right now. What are you slumping about? Sit up, sit up, sit up. Back straight in the chair. Head and eyes up. I see somebody's back here in the back. You keep on looking down. You're looking sideways. Are you sitting straight? Is your feet flat on the floor? You know what ADHD is? It's your mom and dad listening to you not pay attention. Why is your feet way out here? Back it up. Now, when you're focused, and when we are all focused on the same thing, it's amazing what 11 guys inside the white lines can do. Find ball, see ball, get ball. My ball, my ball, my ball on offense. Have you ever reached down, grabbed live grass on the field, picked it up, and made sure the opponent understands this is my grass, not your grass? Do you understand this? Response. I thought Blake did a really good job there. And he's if you're looking at me instead of looking down. Because your focus and attention to detail comes from where your eyes are. And now your eyes will trigger your ears, which will now go into your brain to say, I better pay attention. I better be understanding. Understand who we are, what we are. And inside the huddle, inside the white lines, you know what? When you commit a penalty, you're selfish. You're selfish. This is how we play. Your response to the loss is not making an excuse. It's not your coach's fault when you're inside the white lines. Which one of your coaches is out there on game night, game day, inside the white lines, like at practice? Coaches are there in practice. On games, they're on the sidelines. They're managing you. It's about you. And I want you to hear this. I'm so sick of all the things that go on out in today's world about making excuses. It's somebody else's fault. It's somebody else's fault. Listen to me, just real quick. Deshaun's great. He's glad that I'm not there. They're a teammate. You're supposed to be protecting him. But take a look at the offensive lineman that doesn't have Deshaun out. But take a look at the offensive lineman that runs help make her up. Understand how we're gonna go about playing this week. No penalties, okay? No penalties, don't be selfish, but, okay, and it's about, okay, being the best that you can be, not being somebody else, being the best that you can be, and proving it every single day. I can't wait, I promise you, I'll be taking a look at the score this week, I promise you that. Blake, you did a great job.
Real quick, before we end, this is how we're gonna end, and I'm gonna tee it up. All right, some of you probably already know this is not rah-rah. This is literally a mantra, but this is how we break every meeting that we've been a part of like our entire lives. All right,
40 plus years.
and it's come get some.